voyage into myself and thinking about for all that I can settle disappearing. For the train tries to lead me there, for this into the woods to define natural districts, to your wooden doors and finding money. For the proof of this will be the all currents. Current for the small, for the one to get to the hand, for the button, the river, the stone, and I don't know what. I don't know for the house anymore, for the cross that graveyard, for the black angel that you can count on, for the property, the goodbye, for this lady last winter. Ladybug, for this is a cheer, and be the bug, for this is a spin over the dropping into nothingness and the close enough, and you can see what it is stitching in the human heart. Another for the vibe and the wings and the hell, for the never to know in your love life, for the whatever you put your feet on the floor, for the morning or whatever the nightmare. Miracle for the fantastic illusion, for the solidity. And will they find a board for this is solidarity? The steadiness for the coming into the last of the word. Did we get that idea for the kids to rub into the dirt? For this is the poems made of the breath, for the water, for the kind to find this is what the soul freed of. To those of you alive in the future, for the somehow find a sip of water for the day, for the past is find a syndicated for the involving a communication with the dead, for the televising with the way we resemble for the ghosts in the world that made it breathe flowers. To you the agony for the tinted offer the period that for the quaint for the stiff for the shoulders, and somewhere to carry your buckets from the wealth the strong and after the beekeeper for carry on the honey. Honey, can you carry me and hurry on for the distant be the bee? No further for the distant with the beat on the Monday for the sleeted into the someone for the find the mother for the skirter, go over the further for the home, their own mind. Smoke that for the parking lot for the exhaling the white curse. Turned by the part for the large invisible difference. Seen for the genetics in general, for the war off for the something to open the eyes and result for the world is broken enough for the glue. Broken and fine and bother shooing away the flies. Think we can work away the home for the inside the diamond for the ground for the more of the pigment for the papers the tooth that tried to hold the fire and that's the tongue to suck that for the sugar for each other for the engagement brings it you'll have a pawn shop. Many for the empties and piled up for the curb. Couples that pause at the bridge to watch. Chunks of ice tugged by the bigger in the currents. Who find that slept the late to reach out to find who wasn't there for the bread that was heavy enough for the sweet and pulled out for the wide inferno. Mind that then find what wrote on the leaf and this is something I can manage to get lost. There was no guidance for the system with wired inside of me. Laughter might have to come from the window for the far to the night for the others so dark and I can find it always a silent. You were that undertow. Meaning for the people to look into the sea. Maybe the people to look at the field what's less terrible about themselves for the seas behaving indomitably for this to be the only defined and never satisfied of what throw it away for the dashes they want to come back and gains back your comparatively the things in one device invited with the fraud but nudging wrong. Misunderstandings are already there. Can't believe I was ever worried for this about my betrayals and think about the analyst. Benefiting from the face to leave the sea for the raging of the mist. Obviously not for the one for the suffering, identity the crisis, and know for the boy who wants to be the lawyer anymore who can stay strong for the congregate for the cone and find and maybe life and fetch that for the wasted. And he's at the cleaves. This is the finest shooting and it's not for the guard the bed for the what you wait for the shouting and the mention for the night for the pacing and back and forth for the making the teeth for the spilling and out loud for the sudden outline for the laughter of a snort. Maybe you heckin' that for the drove himself and crazy enough to think to see for the kissing all of the stranger will forgive him no matter what. Liars and confessions, environments of the plastic, fossil fuels and what find a strict elixir, becoming even know for the become the depths of this wild through the heaven, swimming up for million fishes that seemingly made of a life and fighting and eating of each other. You can find yourself and those find alive in the future. Permitted for the metal, you can have the new optimism. Recited for the new optimism, for the interrupted, for the Buddhists and ramparts of the nature, for that, for the needed, for the tennis and the refined, unity for the young, for the who knew everything, for the makers who can be unforeseen, for the world one day present, present, complain, you can blame, goes around the new for the optimism to help that, for the pick up the brush and another foul, the spatula for the loss of the polar bear, for the set, for the polar opposites, for the shrinking and barely thinking. This is enough for the soul to be pure. New optimism, love is bare for this soul that makes an image of itself and self, fair trade for the crafting and fair for the laborers, leave for the knotted for the homes of hope, but this is photos so that you can have the soap, like all the odd ingredients and whiskey for the having the drippings of the lamp. Everything partaking of the glowing and fully yeti for the cleanup of the earth, the seal, the sponge, that and oil. Broken, man is will for the meal. That's for the finally for the same stupid enough for the look into the animal of the eye before eating it. Gloomy the weather, but not the light lets you grow. Oceans of the air, your death, the cat loves you. Remember the cat that had 9 lives, and this is welcome to yourself a forever home.
That means, and what that means is to be mean is if you met with someone that I love, my last breath will be spent on demolishing you. Yet to meet anyone that wanted to think that out. I don't know about him. I don't know. I can't like draw. But it was so much fun. Now I can say, this is the time. We'll just talk. yet to meet anyone that wanted to go up against that challenge.
Like it's gonna be.
Who's to say to throw it all away, for this it ain't too much in waking up of me? To find it to degree of what to this would be, forgetting about it all, for the learning too much to remember to this would be the heart to relax, too little for the bit for the other chance to flow its own way, unassisted by your own mind and effort for the stop directing the rivers flow, just enough to know. There's still Brazilians in the silence, and upon that, for the stillness of here by itself and no doer, for the creator, for the stillness of simply here within you. It's the fragrance of your own self, there's nothing about this naturally present. Fragrance of peace, this is spaciousness. Fragrance of your own being. I am that stillness in which you find there's in the door. For the door, which you can find the fragrance of its own. For throwing everything out of that, for learning too much and you can't comprehend what's to find the sentiments inside of that song. Stop thinking about the life and when you begin that long journey into yourself, knowing everything is at the river for the flow. What we know to let the soul smile through the heart, for the heart to smile through the eyes, and not for the scatter for the rich and smiles and through the sad hearts and not can find why. Pain, life, and existence, the source of love is deep in us, and we cannot find others to realize what lots of happiness is. Suffering is a part of our training program for the becoming of the wise, and you are the sky. Everything else is just the weather. Understand that magical mind for to be extraordinary, kind, quiet, still, just to be kind. Whenever we love to feel this toward the other for the inner happiness and peace. Pain is that blessing to push it away, they will hunt you for the bracing that it would awaken. That to find the patience enough for this, all of life is beautiful. Sure as there's the voyage way for going home. There's the journey home. And always that for the false makes it something for the false of desires and fears and face the values of the ideas of the false relationships and between the people for the instant the abandon for the false that you're free of pain and that to truly make you happy, the truth will liberate you. Once you realize that road is the goal for this, always on the road for the reach that goal for the enjoy that beauty for the wisdom for the life ceases to task itself and become natural enough for the simple itself in the ecstasy. Close your mouth, block off your sense and blunt your sharpness until you knots and find and soften your glare for the settle your dust and this whatever imagine yourself in this amassing of the finest to find the emptiness. Everything in the world was mine. Hope for this the confidence that inspire. A motto for this to focus on the past and worry about that future for the never let knowledge or fear for that we can realize that right now we are okay. For this the beautiful one for to hear the voices of the loved ones. Who looks outside the dreams and who looks inside the wakes. And this to find this awakening of the day for day. All is necessary to awaken yourself for the radiant emptiness and to be different enough to turn your attention towards that for this awakening the silence that you are. And this is only the true artist when you find a place of mind for the inner still. Stillness in what you find and merely to seek and find all the barriers inside of yourself are built against it. I wanted to change that world, but found that I can only change me. For this can be sure to change one yourself, enough of the world for this and to make me happy enough for to soften your rough spots and just allow it to remedy for love no more. The mind that can go 1,000 directions in a beautiful path and walk in peace with each step with the wind the wind blows with each step of flower blooms and you can find what the love is quality enough and not to lose what you do for love is what you are. A passionate line zone, a lighthouse for the darkness, only the present moment that contain life. Delusion to bring yourself for the mind, for the beginning of mind, for this illusion, for the based on the various ways of talking to ourselves, and to believe in what we are saying, but what we are not confused about, something with it on the find a while for the range, for you can find improvement for the born. I am the hope. I hope that for the death, stripping away for all that is not me. Secret of life and to die before I die. For this to find that there is no death. And this is the beyond the beauty for the eternal form. And this is the external. Hear that for something that cannot be named. For something inevitable. For the deep of the inner, the holy essence. And you can find to see the world for yourself. And the faith in the way things are. Not yourself. And the care for all things. It's too heavy for the root of the life. The unmoved is that source of all movement. Love is that flame that burns. Everything other than itself for the destruction that falls to the fulfillment for that is true enough to find it. The resonate with the words and with the words. And to find the place in the happiness for the completeness of joy. And your fullness and I could be not content. Great deal for the suffering arising your conflicted reputation. For instead of that being concerned for the reality of what's been. For concern for the other people thinking you for the owner. I was looking for the it's incredible enough to surely steal yourself from the voice going home. Step back away from the mind from just all things. To discover, to find after the burning of fire inside yourself and the desire for the disappear from the self and the gentleness with the earth. Paradox again. Strange beauty. Love. Unmeasurable mind and extraordinary. Peace, be quiet, still, silence, and discover something you can actually hear.
When I wake up in the morning, I pour the coffee.
Who's to say to throw it all away, for this it ain't too much in waking up of me?
And I slowly
Who's to say to throw it all away for this to name too much and waking up in me?
till the dishes.
Who's to say to throw it all away for this to name too much and waking up in me? Find it to degree of what to this to be forgetting about it all for the learning too much to remember. Who's to say to throw it all away for this to name too much and waking up in me? Find it to degree of what to this to be forgetting about it all for the learning too much to remember to this to be the heart to relax too little. Who's to say to throw it all away for this to name too much and waking up in me? Find it to degree of what to this to be forgetting about it all for the learning too much to remember to this to be the heart to relax too little for the bit of the chance to flow its own way, unassisted by your own mind and effort for the stop directing the rivers flow just enough to know there's still resilience and silence and upon that for the stillness and here by itself is no doer for the creator for the stillness is simply here with you. It's the fragrance of your own self and there's nothing about this naturally present. The fragrance of peace and this is spaciousness. The fragrance of your own being. And I am that stillness in which you find thirst in the door. For the door which you can find the fragrance of its own. For throwing everything out of that for learning too much and you can't comprehend. What's defined as sentiments inside of that song. Stop thinking about the life and want to begin in that long journey into yourself. Knowing everything is at the river for the flow. What we know to let the soul smile through the heart, for the heart to smile through the eyes, and that for the scatter for the rich and smiles into the sad hearts and not can find why. Pain, life, and existence, the source of love is deep in us and we cannot find others to realize what lots of happiness is. Suffering is a part of our training program for the becoming of the wise and you are the sky. Everything else is just the weather. Understand that magic of the mind for to be extraordinary, quiet, still, just to be kind. And whenever we love to feel this toward the other for the inner happiness and peace. Pain is that blessing to push it away, and it will hunt you for the bracing that it will awaken. That for to find the patience is enough, and this all of life is beautiful. Sure as there's the voice away from going home. There's the journey home. And always that for the false that makes us suffer for the false, the desires, the fears, the face, the values, the ideas, the false, the relationships in between the people, for the instant, the benefit, the false, and then you're free of pain to death to truly make you happy, the truth, and liberate you. Once you realize that rules to go for this, always on the road for the reach that go for the enjoy that beauty for the wisdom for the life seasons the task itself and become natural enough for the simple itself and the ecstasy. Close your mouth, block off your sense and blunt your sharpness until you knots and find it soft in your glare for to settle your dust and this whatever the magic yourself for this amassing the finest hiding emptiness. Everything in the world was mine. Hope for this, the confidence to inspire. The motto for this, to focus on the past and the worried about that future for the never, the knowledge or fear for that we can realize that right now we are okay. For this, the beautiful one, for to hear the voices of the loved one. Who looks outside the dreams and who looks inside, who wakes. This is finding this awakening of the day every day. All that's necessary to awaken yourself for the radiant emptiness and to be different enough to turn your attention towards that for this awaken the silence that you are. And this is only the true artist when you find a place of mind for the never still. Stillness in what you find and merely to seek and find all the barriers inside of yourself and built against it. I wanted to change that world profound that I can only change me. For this can be sure of a change one oneself enough for the world for this and to make me happy enough for to soften your rough spots and this to allow it to remedy for love no more. The mind that can go 1,000 directions in a beautiful path and walking in peace with each step when the wind blows and with each step a flower blooms and you can find that what the love is quality enough for not to what you do for love is what you are. A path to the limestone, a lighthouse for the darkness. Only the present moment that contain life. Delusion to bring yourself to the mind, from the beginning to mind for the solution, for the based on the various ways of talking to ourselves and to believe in what we're saying, but what we're not confused about something with a pond and find a while for the main, you can find improvement for the born.
who's to say to throw it all away? For this it ain't too much in waking up of me. To find it to degree of what? To this to be forgetting about it all. For the learning too much to remember to this to be the heart to relax too little.
Mostly drifting in a state of being, one with solitude, I suppose. I do want to have the gratitude, but it was the emerald that lay between the spider and the thorns. Imagine not really overtasting that for the sympathizing yourself at the garden, home with that self with a new heart for the absurd enough that still had a body with the rainbow with the gore with the cricket off me, finding how ridiculous to be gone one. First place to be an object for the orchid is just an object for the stone. Bruisable to plummeted, for the arms are waving for the evening, ignited for the lake and the head it is singing in your furnace. And this would be the furrow, the sweet for the tears and to make it their face. And this would be the grotesque as to make it pure, and how to make it drunken or single to whiff. This would be the hummingbird or end of the laughter. Woman who knew how much I missed that in the light of snow for my son. One. The coming of the die for the because we're so. Would it be swallowed for the ladder for the speckling of a warning? Not to get for the 100 feet for the hands of this woods when everyone wants to hack off for that souvenir for the clogging off the lane for the wants to stare into the pothole for the coming into the grievance and then you can vote. Greatest accomplishment of mankind. You got a spirit for the God to create the paradise and tell us what to get out for this. He probably what we can do much like to create. No wonder what is pediatrics for the morning for the toxology. I can find the toxin. Way to find a juice to turn into the garbage can. Lifted by the trucks of the hydraulics in the arm to the bag that for the empty for the you could be sticky and sweet for the drop to that. Without the dash to that for the old eating. Yourself for the glory for the pearl. It's an everyday escape. Grow your antenna for the down, after the lava for the rise of snow for your growing tongue. If this would be the math and assignment for you can have that for the one to prove of your bioluminescent communion address that for the world for the fidget. Uneasy to find a relationship through the statements. Nevertheless, producing your silver for the buzz and the rage of your limbs with the luster. Finally get that down. You felt like they was walking on to the sky for the one not for the pedestrian at all. For the one to turn back for what you could find in the ocean. For the not for the find the shadow for the lizard through that for the gauntlet for the Ontario. Ancient armor. Get what that name was in the night nerve for the see the blood draw. Don't get it wrong, and I don't want to take up what's too much to find. Avoid the old dog trench. Can't find me to find its land to find the light for the hiding that for the what's right for this is things I won't understand for this to be the conspired for the what to live and alive forever. Mostly drifting in a state of being. Mostly drifting in a state of being.
Mostly drifting in a state of being. One with solitude, I suppose. I do want to have the gratitude, but it was the emerald that lay between the spider and the thorns. Imagine not really overtasting that for the sympathizing yourself at the garden, home with that self with a new heart for the absurd enough for the still had the body with the rainbow with the gore with the cricket off me, finding how ridiculous to be gone one. First place to be an object for the orchid is just an object for the stone. Bruisable to plummeted, for the arms are waving for the evening, ignited for the lake and the head it is singing in your furnace. And this would be the furrow and the sweet for the tears and to make it their face. And this would be the grotesque and make it pure, and how to make it drunken or single the whiff. This would be the hummingbird or end of the laughter. Woman who knew how much I missed that in the light of snow for my son. The one. The coming of the die for the because we're so. To be swallowed for the ladder for the speckling of a warning. Not to get for the 100 feet for the hands of this woods for everyone wants to hack off for that souvenir for the clogging off of the lane for the ones to stare into the pothole for the coming into the grievance and then you vote. The greatest accomplishment of mankind. You got a spirit for the God to create the paradise and tell us what to get out for this. He probably what we can do much like to create. And when what is pediatrics for the morning for the toxology, I can find the toxin. Way to find a juice to turn into the garbage can. Lifted by the trucks of the hydraulics in the arms of the bag that for the empty for the you can be sticky and sweet for the drop to that and without the dash to that for the old eating. Yourself for the glory for the pearl. It was an everyday escape.
Mostly drifting in a state of being.
Mostly drifting in a state of being.
Mostly drifting in a state of being.
Mostly drifting in a state of being. One with solitude, I suppose.